With just 4 games left in the regular season in the NBA. For the Boston Celtics, I'm not sure if anybody can stop them in the Eastern Conference. And now, if we look at the West is stacked. I really don't see the Eastern Conference winning the NBA Finals. It could be a good matchup, but it's definitely going to be the Celtics. I don't know. They have to have a vengeance in them after losing in the Eastern Conference Finals a season ago to the Miami Heat. They're going to do everything they can to avoid anything like that to happen. They're going to be locked in. Joe Mazzulla is going to have his squad dialed. Okay, and the rest of the Eastern Conference is just underwhelming at best. I mean, we have the Boston Celtics, we have the Milwaukee Bucks, we have the New York Knicks, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers, we have some other teams that are decent, but we don't have anything dominant. We don't have anything that's looked amazing, especially as we look at the 2-seeded Milwaukee Bucks losing 4 straight now. 4 straight. That's right before the playoff time? Come on now. And let's be honest, these teams probably aren't trying super hard right now. They're resting a little bit more. They're not playing the same minutes that they have been because they're trying to get rested for the playoffs. We can see that no team is doing that more than the Boston Celtics, but they already have that number 1 seed overall wrapped up. So they don't really have much to play for. The Celtics, they've been resting Jason Tatum. They've been resting Jaylen Brown. They've been resting Kristaps Porzingis a little bit at the end of games. And they're still getting it done. They're still getting it done. The Boston Celtics have won 21 of their last 25 games. 21. 2 losses coming to the Hawks on back-to-back days, or back-to-back games at least. I'm not sure if those were back-to-back days. DeJounte Murray's 44 points on 44 shots in overtime was one of those. And the other 2 were some notable losses to the Nuggets and somebody else good. I forget right now. But they're just so locked in. They're so dialed. I can't say the same thing about any other Eastern Conference team because the Sixers just got Joel Embiid back. We're not sure how good they've been. We're not sure how fully healthy he is and how ready to go he is going to be come playoff time. Now, I think JoJo's going to be just fine. I really do. He's been playing enough. He's getting his legs back underneath him. He's looking decent. He's still putting up points. Maybe not the same dominant Joel Embiid that was averaging 35 points per game before this injury, but still, you get what I'm saying. He is going to be okay. He's going to get back into it. And then we might be able to see the real 76ers. The Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis has been in and out of the lineup a lot this season. Though it's not for major spans of time, he's just been in and out. And now, losing 4 games straight, they're just not looking like the Bucks of old, right? This Doc Rivers-led Bucks team is not the same. I don't know why they let Coach Bud go. I mean, again, we could talk about that all day long. It's just very disappointing. The defense is not there. And do we trust Coach Doc Rivers in a playoff series? No, we still don't, okay? Because he is not leading the 2008 Celtics. He has to go up against the 2024 Celtics. I just don't see him getting it done. Giannis is not the same. Dame is not the same player he was even. I don't know. Obviously, they could both flip a switch and turn it on in the playoffs. We've seen both of these superstars do that before. I don't know if they can do it enough again, especially where their defense is down. Their bench isn't as good as it was. Chris Middleton is obviously not as good as he was their championship run. Okay, there's just a lot of pieces that we aren't loving. And, of course, the defense being the number 1 factor. The New York Knicks have just been rattled with injury after injury. I mean, they have never been healthy this season. They missed Mitchell Robinson a lot. He's finally starting to play a little bit. Not the same minutes that he used to. Not even a starter right now. And that might stay the case for the playoffs. We'll see what Thibodeau decides to do there. But Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, they're probably not going to play in the playoffs. So we can't count on Jalen Brunson to score 45 points 12 times in the playoffs. Okay, they're not going to win the Eastern Conference because Jalen Brunson can't do it all, especially the defensive side of the ball. Okay, and they're a decent defense, but those Villanova boys, they get after it. It's just not right. It's just not there. They're not what they should be. You know what I mean? If they were healthy, I would give the Knicks a good run. I'd give them good odds to at least battle with the Celtics. But not now. The Cleveland Cavaliers, I've just never been convinced of. I mean, even when they were sitting at that 2 seed at the beginning of the All-Star break, I wasn't sure even then, especially with how, again, in and out of the lineup Donovan Mitchell has been. He was sitting last night too, and they blew a 26-point lead to the LA Clippers. 26. That was almost as bad as what the Clippers let the Lakers do to them. Actually, 26 might be the exact same. So I don't know who to have faith in. I don't know where to put my confidence in the Eastern Conference outside of the Boston Celtics. They're just very, very dominant. You know, I've never been the biggest of Boston Celtics fans, especially under this regime. I don't love the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown duo. It's a lot of isolation ball. It's a lot of one-on-ones. It's a lot of, I guess that is ISO ball, but you know what I'm saying. It's just not a fluid offense. They're not moving the ball. They don't run in transition amazingly. They don't pass the ball amazingly well. I mean, Derek White leads the team with 5 assists. That's not what we should expect from a team like the Boston Celtics. All right, we should see the ball moving a lot more. We should see Drew Holiday getting more than 5 assists himself. Okay, I just don't know. I don't know who can stop them though, because they've just been so dominant all season long. I mean, they score the ball with the best of them. Jason Tatum averaging 27, Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis both above 20 as well, and it's not like the rest of the roster isn't scoring either. I mean, Derek White has his 15.5. Drew Holiday has his 12.5. Peyton Pritchard is getting buckets. Sam Hauser still gets his shots. Al Horford still does his role. And they're playing decent defense. I mean, it's not number one overall defense, but it's decent defense. It's not bad. Al Horford, as many thought would take a step back, is playing decently well. Xavier Tillman's playing some good backup big man minutes as well. You know, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have both upped their defensive rating this season. It's just a much better, much more focused team. That's really the difference between this year's Boston Celtics and last year's Boston Celtics is just focus. They are focused, and they are getting it done. I don't think they match up well with a few teams in the Western Conference, but again, that's not the Eastern Conference. I don't see anybody beating them in the Eastern Conference. The teams I worry about for them in the West are the Denver Nuggets, of course, because they move the ball really well. They can exploit that defense. They have a stretch 5 if they need to. I mean, they can bring Al Horford and Xavier Tillman out of the paint. I mean, and Al Horford's not a bad perimeter defender for a big guy, but you know what I'm saying. They really make you stress. It is the number one offense for a reason. The Oklahoma City Thunder matched up really well against the Boston Celtics, and I think they might play again this season. No, they don't. They went 1-1, but the Celtics beat them by 35 last time they matched up, but that was without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Jalen Williams. So, I don't know. I think, and me being a Thunder fan, I'm getting a little biased here for sure. I just don't think fully healthy these teams match up very well with the Celtics. I'm not saying the Celtics would lose. I'm just saying it would be not as dominant as it's going to be in the Eastern Conference, because I don't see the only person I see them having problems with is Joel Embiid, and maybe if Giannis and Dame are stupidly locked in, then the Bucks give them trouble. But as the team is constructed right now, as the defense is for the Milwaukee Bucks, I don't see it. I don't see it. I just don't. I mean, honestly, if I were to put my bets on the best team with the best chance to beat the Celtics, it might be the Orlando Magic. It really might. No, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. It's the Milwaukee Bucks, then the Cavs, and then probably the Magic. I like their chances over the Knicks right now. I like their even though the Knicks just beat the Bucks, and I like their chances over the Sixers as until Joel Embiid can prove how he's dominant in the playoffs. But the Orlando Magic have a good balanced team. They attack the paint really well. The only problem is their 3-point shooting ability is not as prevalent as I would hope it would be going up against the Boston Celtics, considering how many threes the C's do put up. But you get what I'm saying. It's just, I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm making this more video because I want one of you to convince me that the Celtics aren't going to win the championship or aren't going to win the Eastern Conference. Please. That's what I'm here for. Again, I want this comment section filled up with takes. Please tell me I'm wrong. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Please, somebody convince me. But for right now, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis is a great big three. Then you factor in the defense of Drew Holiday, of Al Horford. The team isn't deep. That is their weakness, right? We know that. We know that. But they have scorers off the bench. They have a Peyton Pritchard. They have a Sam Hauser. They have defense on the bench. And Xavier Tillman. And Luke Cornett is a decent defender. There's a few guys that they have. I really want to see somebody do it. I just don't think anybody can. So again, until the finals, I don't think there's going to be much of a chance. Oh, the Heat. The Heat still have a chance. The Heat are still probably my favorite to beat the Celtics, just because that matchup is always fun. And we'll see what the Heat do. See if they can even make it out of the play-in tournament. Tyler Hero is back and healthy, so maybe they get some action. Maybe their offense really picks up, and maybe the Heat can string something together. But they just have not been playing good enough basketball for me to really consider them as a threat. But that's what the Heat do. The Heat always surprises. They always play above expectations in the playoffs. Outside of that 1 year where they got swept by the Bucks because the Bucks were pissed, and the Bucks went on to win the championship. So you get what I'm saying. But please let me know: can somebody beat the Celtics? I hope so, but I don't think so in the East.